Good afternoon. Welcome. I also have started creating podcasts of all the information that I've been collecting. And so you'll see those. I got a comment, or I saw a comment or an email that the cards only version, someone wanted to see those. So if you notice them being uploaded and it's like 6 weeks late, it's because I kind of stopped uploading them. I just hadn't heard any feedback. I also was looking at the Ashton Kutcher reading. We've come a long way, baby. Thank you for all the tips to get the microphone. Great idea. Whoever commented or noticed we needed some lighting. Well, my life has changed since then too. I was working in Corporateville and doing those at like midnight, and I was maxed out. So in general though, great idea. And I would like to do this reading on Twitch. I have so much I want to say out loud, and I don't know if I should do like a TikTok or something for it. I finally am like putting together the pieces of this big cosmic puzzle. And I'm in recovery, so for me, I work a program of recovery, and every year you're supposed to do the steps. If anyone's in recovery, you may know this or not. This is the way I was taught. I have no idea how other people do their program, but I have a sponsor who has a sponsor. I call her Nana. And she does not play, which is good. That's what I needed. And so what I am relearning, or I just all of a sudden am getting right now, what Earth School is all about. And it started in Atlantis when we were using the mystery schools as literally a training tool. And then the reptilians, thank God it's almost over. It's been a long battle. The reptilians infiltrated somehow. Those are the hybrids. And they brought darkness because their intentions were not pure. Well, reptilians, that's a very primitive way. And there are humans that have a meat suit on that looks human, but they're really reptilian. You can see it all over YouTube. They have so many clips. And just in the last 2 days, I all of a sudden got it. And I figured out how to break out of the Earth School jail. Because it's not a jail where you're inside a cell, it's a mind jail. And I am 100% hook, line, and sinker, bought right into it. I come from a family that's like finance, Putnam, and I was going to go to Boston, and then I ended up going out west, and I like really wanted to live this way that I was raised. Like, when I was divorced by 30 instead of married with a few kids, I had like a complete breakdown. But I realized that the way, we're going to name this lessons from the universe, the way that the elite, you can call them whatever you want, there isn't one person at the top. This is like Winston Churchill called it an enigma. It's like that Russian doll. It's an end. There's no end. So I wonder if I should, I'm just going to explain it and figure it out. So the way that this enigma works, it started in Atlantis with and you've heard of the fallen angels probably. The fallen angels were fallen because these hybrids, or these gods, they're just from the stars. So we're all pretty much, I've met 2 people that are earthlings that don't come from a starseed, but they're not starseeds. That's okay. That's why we're all here. And if you're an old soul, it's Dolores Cannon says you're a slow learner. But what I've learned, and I've probably heard this 4,000 times, all of a sudden, and that's why when you're in the program of recovery, the program that I was taught, is that you do it once a year. Well, after COVID, I had some mommy issues, and I did my 4th step on my mom about 4 times. You do it, and then every year you revisit it. Well, because you're in a different spot, so things will resonate different. I can tell you, I've read the same stuff all the time. And this time it just like, it clicked. So this is like a mind prison for me. This is like my experience. And I finally realized the way that the elites who made up our banking system, they made up this work till you die, 9 to 5, is they control the social like expectations. So Catholic, probably middle upper class. I don't, probably middle upper class New England. I mean, we're on the Mayflower. We helped with the Salem witch trials. We were on the wrong side of history. And there were expectations that were imposed. And the way they were imposed is because to control the masses, you set rigid social expectations. So my expectations might have been different. The implied expectations. No one said, like, you can't go to college. I'm sure they did. I'm sure that was never even an option for me. For me, it was always very cookie cutter, which I'm glad, I guess. It was a good learning experience. So with that, then they control the media, they control the schooling system until 1902, when they realized they could make more money in pharmaceuticals with oil and pharmaceuticals. We'd been using the homeopathic remedies. And then they, and I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be accepted by my clan. That was my family. I come from a huge Italian family, and we call them the hens. Those are the aunties. And I wanted to be accepted, but they are unspoken rules. So Catholic, Roman Catholic, was started by the same group of, I don't really like calling them reptilians, but I guess that's what they are. I feel them. I'll just call them dark. They're the dark side. Their intentions aren't pure. What they want to do is control everything. One world order. We actually do want one world order. We don't want it the way that they're setting it up. And so the stuff that I'm understanding now is I've been in my own mental cage. And I think that's why I can't leave. If I knew this is supposed to be an easy life for me, this is supposed to be a vacation because I've done all the work, allegedly. That's what I got. And that's nice. And I'm glad about that. I also have been trying to figure it out. I just wanted to figure it out. And what I figured out is by controlling everything, like my mom, for example, well, she's a boomer. That goes with, I mean, that explains itself. All the women from my mom's generation, in my experience, actually, I wouldn't say anyone that watches this, she doesn't watch this, put it that way. Like, her world, if I told her, the same group of entities that infiltrated the Atlantis mystery schools and started spreading fear and scarcity mindset, that's like so not real. Also wrote the Old Testament. Whoopsies. And there is written document that the church, or the satanic, I did call the Church of Satan because I needed to understand it. That was for we could have done it for the Delphi girls, and JJ came to, I had an intuitive reading with JJ. I never posted it, of the Lori Vallow case. I didn't post it because it didn't feel right to post to the public, but I needed to understand it. And they do believe in the satanic stuff. And it's in, probably not the church doctrine, but it's in writing that around 1200 they the church, the satanic, I don't even know what to call it. I'll just call it. I don't want to summon him. Well, knowing that he wrote her literal Bible, that sucks. But for me, what I've learned in the last 3 days is like, I am a prisoner of my own it's a mental prison. And it's like, okay, so for me, not going to college that was never even like an option. I would have never thought of not going. That's just the way it was. But I also wouldn't have thought of not going because I didn't want to think critically and think outside the box. I didn't realize that there are other ways, which I'm glad that I have now. Yeah, that was my own way. It took me some time, but so to break out of the matrix is to recognize that it's an enigma. And I've been in like secret societies on a very small scale. And I mean that just like, but no matter how deep you are in that stuff, like I'm not in a sorority, and I do love sororities. There's someone who's a little sensitive. And I was trying to use the example of the athlete life versus the frat boy life were two different lives in my college experience. And I didn't join a sorority, but I had friends that were in the one of them, or a few of them actually. I had to talk to the president of Alpha Chi or something. They were having a problem with eating disorders and their plumbing. That was sad. But the point is, to break out of this matrix, you literally have to realize. And I already thought I realized everything is fake. It's all fake. It's all a propaganda machine. I was taught propaganda and persuasion. I was recruited by agencies. I got the whole deal. I might have worked for one. I would never tell, but some people have noticed, and I appreciate that. So with that being said, I wanted to just tell everyone, to break out of the matrix, you have to realize the indoctrination that starts from the moment you're not even born yet. You're in your mom's belly. And it's like, anyone who thinks outside the box is criticized, or like my sister, I love her very dearly, but she's a good soldier. I mean, she's a good soldier. And she always rolls her eyes at me. And then like a year later, I'll be like, remember when you said da-da-da? But I was afraid to speak out. Well, because they teach you it's not okay. They'll kill, or the witch trials, that's a good example. And the fact that the light won, I'm very happy and I'm psyched about that. What's happening now that everything's getting exposed is the Earth's, okay, so the Earth, just like a human, has her own growing stages. She is growing from like stage 1, 2, 3. That's when there's just molten, when the Earth was formed, then there's rocks, and then vegetation, so she's ascending, which is really a descension, but we don't get into semantics. And she is also ascending, and she was going to do it with us or without us. She's made that clear. And we don't have global warming. That's part of the propaganda machine. And as she's ascending, and the people on planet, we made it, are ascending, the Earth is starting to spin. So you might notice your food habits have started changing. You might not, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like food that I don't like anymore, but I can't think of any. Some people have noticed. But I guess I eat pretty healthy anyway. And I started lifting the other day, January 1st. So as the Earth's ascending, they can't hold that density of the shapeshifters or whatever you want to call it. It's like a shapeshifter. And I don't really know what the next step is, other than I'm supposed to just be, and I want to teach. So I have to work on my communication skills. I like less is more, but that's one of the things. So as we're ascending, and I just realized this prison that I was born into and drank the Kool-Aid, like, because I never wanted to go against, like, I mean, going against the family isn't even an option, but that's indoctrination, and it starts so young. Like, this government runs our schools, then they run the colleges, then they run the media. Whether it's the government or not, they have one plan. And their plan is the one world order, which we actually do want, because we would like a seat at the galactic table. Right now, no, I would not. We are like we can't play nice in the sandbox, but this is giving more credence to Putin. Putin hates NATO. He's made that very clear. And Putin is white light. I've also saw somewhere, this is off the subject, I just thought of Biden. I saw that probably in a comment that he and Hillary were killed in 2018 for something. Is that real? Right now, nothing seems real. I'm like, every time that I learn more and it like makes my mind a pretzel, I always think I've got it. And then that happens. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, because I'm really happy that I finally figured it out. And I think that's why we keep incarnating, because you don't figure it out, because they were hidden really well. And if I hadn't taken those classes and a recruiter came to my class and opened my eyes, I wouldn't have probably known. I don't know. I mean, business stats isn't going to teach you. It was actually called like a seminar in friendship. That was one of my favorite classes my senior year. And we had to what we did was what makes you, I don't know, it was a philosophy class. So with that being said, I just wanted to like get that all out. I was so psyched to tell someone. So I hope that resonated with people. It was really an eye-opening experience, because the prison, to control the masses, you set up really rigid, like religion. Look at us right now, religion and politics. Does it? And then Gaza, those guys just did a handshake and a hug. They don't want to fight anymore. This isn't their idea. After we found out that the Civil War was planned 20 years in advance, no one wants to fight. That's the way. I mean, if you're an 18-year-old kid, you don't want to go off to war. For what? Or if you're the mother, you hear those tragedies of like moms who lost 8 sons. I think that was a Civil War, and Lincoln went to her house. Well, that was nice of him. But it's just a really cool moment, I think, of waking up. So that I will love you and leave you. We are going to do a reading now, but I just wanted to get that out so I could chat. Oh, and if members want to do members only night, I have class on Wednesdays, but we could do it before class, or we could do it a different night. I'd like to start doing regular things. So with that, I will love you and leave you.